I am really excited today. For a couple of days, I wasn't able to use ZApplink, but I got it working again. So now let's explore this a little bit further. This is just a cube, right? Okay, I want to make this look nice. So let's divide this up. Actually, let's start from the beginning. Lightbox, cube. That's all you need to do. And then, just so we get our details like we want, I want to divide this up. 1 million's good. Okay, now let's F to frame. Okay. Now, document, ZApplink. I want to be able to use this quickly, so I'm going to create a keyboard shortcut. So Control Alt Select. Oh, hold on. Control Alt Select. Press any key combination. Blah blah blah. Mouse button to cancel. Basically any. Wait. Okay. Good. Hotkey custom. I just set ZApplink to the keyboard A. I don't know, that just seems easy for me, and A was not associated with anything else, I don't think. So now when I press A, it brings up ZApplink projection. I can turn fade off. I have set Photoshop up, set target app, that's, Photoshop. Okay, so now we go drop now. Really, really awesome. I'm so excited. Okay, update. Now, let's zoom out a little bit. Now this is our cube that we saw in ZBrush, and I can start to paint in Photoshop and directly transfer that over to ZBrush. So it's really powerful, and I figured out all of the layers that it exports to Photoshop, so I can talk about that now. This first layer is locked, and this is your ZBrush background color. So whatever ZBrush background color you have, that will end up right here. If you change the background color to green, orange, pink, that's what that would be. Your middle layer is what you're actually painting on, your cube, or our cube, for example. That is the 3D model that we've decided to send, and there is a mask associated with this. Not always, but when you can see your 3D object and then your ZBrush background, it creates a mask for you, so it can you can paint on. If we switch to a paintbrush, if we paint on our model, the mask is preventing us from leaving this cube. So then we can press File, Save, and this look will transfer over to ZBrush. So Alt-Tab, ZBrush, re-enter ZBrush. Awesome. Just like I said, the pixels that we colored ended up in ZBrush, just like that. So that's really nice. Now let's change the document color. This is the background color. Let's select and click and hold and drag this to any other color in our scene. Ooh, that's nice. I like this orange. I'm going to live with it forever and ever. Okay, so that is our document background right now. Now I'm going to press A. That's the keyboard shortcut we set up. Drop now. ZApplinking. It's going to Photoshop. Okay, update. Now, as you can see, we still have the cube that we painted on, and the document background has changed to orange, just like we set up. So I'm happy with that, but I want to go back to the original color. So let's go Alt-Tab. Okay, unchanged. We didn't make any adjustments or modifications to our Photoshop document, and it realizes that, so that's good. So let's go back. Now let's I don't like this orange anymore. So document, click on back, and I like white, but I did like that gray. Ooh, right there. Don't move. Okay. Oh, there we go. I let go of the mouse. So now our ZBrush background is gray, probably the gray that we had, but that's what I want. That's what I'm used to, and now I can design things for my cube here. So, like I said, when you ZApplink to Photoshop, you have all the power that Photoshop has. So, let's illustrate that. One thing to note is that we can basically see everything that we painted in Photoshop on our cube because it has been divided up a bunch. But if we reduce this to back down to where it only had 98 sides, Shift F to get a visual of that, it doesn't have as much geometry as it does when it is in the millions and millions. Shift F, Shift F. Now there are a lot more sides, or a lot more divisions and areas to paint on. But if we go back to 98 sides, Shift F, and then we go to A, ZApplink, we move to back to Photoshop. Okay, and we can still paint our really pretty pictures. Right, that's a really pretty orange color on the layer that we need. Okay, and if we save this, okay, and then Alt-Tab back to ZBrush, okay, pick up now, it tries to project the textures that we just created onto our cube, but it only has 98 sides, so it doesn't work. So let's go back to 1.572 million active points, divisions in our cube. Let's go up to Control D, 6 million. Okay, now we should be able to paint a much higher resolution than the initial lines that we drew when we had 1 million, because there are more divisions, more areas to paint on our cube. So let's Alt-Tab, or sorry, press, in my case, A, because I've created that keyboard shortcut, and ZApplink projection. Okay, back to Photoshop. Really, really awesome. Hello. Oh, I guess not. Okay, this is our active document. Now I'm going to use, let's see, workspace. Let's go to painting. All the tools in Photoshop you can use. So let's go to this blur. Let's see, blur and smudge. Let's do smudge. Okay, right now, let's talk a little bit more about these layers. I'm going to hide them all. Okay, we have our ZBrush document color, background color. This is the background color of your ZBrush scene. It was orange, but we changed it back to this gray color because it's a little easier on the eyes and things like that. Then you have your masked layer. It's only masked if you can see the 3D object with your document in the background as well. Then it creates a mask automatically just so you can paint on it like we did, and it respects the mask. Yeah. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. Control Z, and then the Z shading is actually, this is really cool. Let's Alt-Tab back to ZBrush. Okay, let's talk about that third layer. That is matte cap. Matte caps are really powerful in ZBrush. If we select a matte cap, in this case droplet, and then we go right back to ZApplink. Okay, turn off fade, drop now. Okay. Then your ZBrush or your Photoshop scene updates with that matte cap that you had selected. So if you're trying to paint something or texture something, it is independent from the matte cap that you have associated with it. So if we draw stuff on our cube, let's select a different color. This blue is fairly nice, and I want to paint. I love the way that looks. So let's File, Save, Alt-Tab, back to ZBrush, re-enter ZBrush, pick up now. Okay, awesome. I love that look. But what if we change our matte cap? Poly Skin. Okay, did I just ruin the texture? I don't know. Let's go back to Photoshop with ZApplink. Okay, update. It didn't do anything to the textures. It just changed the matte cap, or the matte cap layer in this case. So this looks the same. And if we go back to ZBrush, okay, unchanged, and we change this to something like, oh, that's interesting. I'm definitely going to get a different result now, right? Let's go Document, ZApplink, no fade. Okay, drop now. Now the texture is going to be totally ruined, and I'm going to have to start over. It's horrible. Update. Oh man, I like the other texture, but that's too much activity. I can't fix that. But this is separate from our actual texture. If we hide our matte cap layer, we still see that original texture that we've been designing for months and months and months. So the matte cap layer changes depending on what matte cap you have. If we Alt-Tab back to ZBrush, okay, unchanged, and if I set this to flat color, the matte cap that it places on your object is almost transparent. So you're basically just seeing the color, right? So if we document ZApplink, turn off fade, drop now, back to Photoshop. Okay, basically it's like the matte cap layer is transparent. So when you turn it on and off, it doesn't matter because it is basically invisible. So this is really handy when you're trying to design things. If we go back to ZBrush, I usually like to stick with toy plastic just because you don't have something really hard to see your textures or what you're trying to make. Like this, for example, outline. Let's see what this looks like. Oh. Document ZApplink, turn off fade, drop down. Okay, update. Now our matte cap has changed to that outline. Our original texture is still there, but you can still paint your textures, right? Let's change to a different color. Green, I like green. Okay, now let's add to our cube that we're designing. Okay, that's really hard to see what is happening underneath. Let's File, Save, Alt-Tab back to ZBrush, re-enter. Now, didn't I draw a whole bunch of stuff on here? I'm not sure exactly what I painted, but it doesn't matter because it is a matte cap layer and it is totally separate from your texture, and you can change it at a moment's notice. Let's go back to toy plastic, and this is what we sculpted on, or the texture that I applied to our cube, and it is much easier to see on some materials than others. Probably Sketch Shade 4 would be another good one. Again, it doesn't really matter what matte cap you have, just as long as you can see your 3D object and you can sculpt to your heart's content. Let's see, I like this. Let's another thing to worry about is your distance from your object or your 3D model. If we zoom out, okay, I want to paint in ZBrush, or sorry, Photoshop with the ZApplink. You can drop now. Okay, update, but you can't zoom in when you're in Photoshop. So then you just have to paint as best you can. Let's see, I need a green dot right there. Okay, File, Save. Now, I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm not sure how this is going to affect the 3D object, in this case the cube. It's probably going to do a lot of stretching of the texture because it's trying to project that the small circle on the cube, the large cube at that distance, and I don't know. Let's see what happens. Alt-Tab, back to ZBrush. Okay, it looks pretty good actually. Let's take a closer look. Okay, yeah, it did do some effects. Now that's nice, but I don't really like that too much. So one thing you can do is you can go back to Photoshop and update. Awesome. Now we're zoomed in, so let's zoom back out. Now I don't like the way this looks, so I'm going to select my eraser at 100%, and I'm going to erase the texture. Okay, this should work just fine. I'm not sure. Let's see. That's one nice thing about doing it, is you can always find out new things. Okay, let's File, Save. Oh, when using Z for texturing. Using ZBrush for texturing. ZBrush for texturing is really powerful because you can, at least from my experience, let's pick up the texture and see what happens. I don't know. That referring to what I was just doing, I tried to erase that, but it didn't seem to work. So if we ZApplink back to Photoshop, it'll probably just have this cube and stuff. So maybe you can't really erase. Let's update. Yeah. Okay. So if I wanted to get rid of the textures that I have, I would want to select a color like this white, for example, and just paint over it, I guess. Which I'm not sure. Let's see if this works. It's going to look really weird. It's not going to erase anything. It's just going to probably be bad. Let's see. The File, Save, Alt-Tab, re-enter ZBrush. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it did paint that look on our cube. Okay, now, Kane, what's the advantage of using Z for texturing? You are referring to ZBrush, right? Now this is ZBrush, right? I'm in ZBrush. I want to get rid of this whole nonsense. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to Control N. Wait, no, sorry, that's clearing your canvas. You can't clear your canvas when you've got a, never mind, going back. Here's my cube, draw it out, enter, or edit. Okay, Now I want to uh, fill object with this white color. Now that has basically erased all the effects that I've tried to paint, and you're wondering about why is ZBrush good for texturing. Sorry, using Photoshop. ZBrush is good for texturing because you can paint anywhere on your model. As long as you've got a high enough subdivision level, you can get any texture look you want to right in real time on your 3D objects. This is the cube at 98 polygons, so as I try and paint we're just focusing on the color right now, so RGB. Let's turn ZAdd off because I don't want to affect the 3D geometry of our cube. I just want to paint on it, and let's pick a nice blue. Now, you can't paint on your objects like you want with a low polygon count. So Control Z, if we go back up to, let's divide it up once to 386 polygons. We've got a little bit more area to paint, but not that much. You still don't have any, high-res game detail and stuff that you're looking for. Control Z, let's divide it up one more time, up to 1,538. Now we've got a little bit more area to paint our looks and whatever we want to on here, but it's still not enough. Let's go 4 times, okay, 6,000. Now we see a lot more detail that we can actually paint on our 3D object. Okay, you can make a whole lot of stuff happen just with painting in ZBrush. And one nice thing about ZBrush is you can divide your models up into the millions and sometimes billions of times, and then you've got a lot of pixels that you can paint on. So now I've moved up to 6.291 million polygons. So now I can draw all sorts of textures. Pretty nice. And this is really handy because you can, like I said, you can go to color, fill object. Then another nice thing you can do with painting in ZBrush is you can mask. Masking is really powerful. Let's mask by ambient occlusion. No, sorry. Let's mask by cavity. And you click it, and it thinks about your object for a little while. Let's yeah, okay. That's a good example. It just masked everything but the edges because I guess we're masking the cavity. So now we have just the outsides that we can paint on. Let's select this red color and color fill object. Okay, and then control, click and drag. Wait, Control Z, Control, and then click to invert what we've just drawn. I'm going to switch to this green look, or green color, and it looks like the cavity that it created for us was not entirely the edges. Control Z, let's undo a little bit. Okay, clear my mask. Control, click and drag. Let's turn this up all the way. Mask by cavity. So I'm not even sure what that is. That's crazy. Let's see what that does. Yeah, so it masks out some areas, but what I'm trying to get at here is when you when you use these masking in ZBrush, you can use it to assist you when you're painting objects in 3D. Let's control, click and drag, but you're kind of limited. There are only so many things you can do. Let's see. I'm going to control click to create a mask. This is really nice. One other nice thing about ZBrush is when you're nice. Hello. Lethal Trap. That's a great name, by the way. Another nice thing about masking is ZBrush. You can use lazy mouse, which is really great for when you're trying to get smooth lines. So if you were trying to do this in Photoshop, you could do it, but it would take a while. Control Z. Let's actually. Okay, I'm holding down Control, and I'm trying to adjust my lazy mouse. So I don't want any lazy steps, and I want my lazy radius to be all the way up. So now when I draw, the line is going to be very smooth. So it looks like I'm being very careful with the mask that I'm creating. So what I was trying to get at is that when you're painting in ZBrush, the masks can be very useful when you're trying to get just the right look. I have everything but this mask that I created selected because I clicked in my document to invert it. So yeah, everything that is dark is masked. So I have a new color selected. Color, fill object. Awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. But then another nice thing is you can, since you're in ZBrush, you can zoom up anywhere you want to, and you can make things look different. Okay, that's awesome. But one nice thing about using ZApplink, nice. Glad I could help. One nice thing about using ZApplink with Photoshop, you can use it on any view that you're looking at in your ZBrush document. So let's see. Let's say I like this look. Shift to snap this top view, I think. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, I like this, but I want a different texture look that I just can't get in ZBrush. So I'm going to use ZApplink, drop now, to take me back to Photoshop. Update. Awesome. Still broadcasting. Okay. I'm still on the correct layer to edit things. Well, okay. Now I'm going to use my smudge. Now I'm in Photoshop. Now I've got all the power in Photoshop to do whatever. So things you can't do in ZBrush. Is that smudge stuff. You can't. I guess you could if you wanted to, but it would take a lot of fiddling around. Okay, let's increase our draw size. Okay, looks good. Awesome. You can't get this look in ZBrush just by itself. Okay. Okay. I've created a $1 million painting right now, right? So let's File, Save, Alt-Tab, back to ZBrush. Awesome. Really powerful stuff. Things you can't achieve in ZBrush by itself. So I'm going to use ZBrush today to really, in the last couple of weeks I've been using a program called Armor Paint. That's where you start with a cube, like this. and you can drag in any type of materials you want to and paint them wherever you want at really high resolutions and high definition. I'm going to take this cube and do something like that, very similar. And I'm just practicing here, trying to use the ZApplink with ZBrush to Photoshop to get just the right look with many different textures. I use pixabay.com, so I get a bunch of free textures that I can use in all sorts of projects. And let's see, at the moment I'm not liking this orange too much, so let's pick a nice gray material, gray color. Okay, fill object, and okay, I like that. Good. Now let's see, I'm going to snap to one of the sides, this for example, and let's back to ZApplink. Nice. Sweet. Oh, thanks for watching Lethal Trap. Okay. Oh, and happy 24th of July, if that means anything to anybody. Okay, this is my new Photoshop document. Now, like I was saying, with Armor Paint, you can drag in any textures you want to and paint them wherever you want to in real time on your 3D object. This is very similar, but you can't move around in 3D with this ZApplink in Photoshop, but I can drag in textures. So, let's see. Okay, Pixabay. Pixabay has lots of free textures you can use. So, let's see. I'm going to start with this abstract. Okay, that looks nice. Now I'm going to illustrate something really quick. I stretched it out so it is covering my cube entirely. And it created a new layer in our 3-layer ZBrush to Photoshop ZApplink document. This is not going to make ZBrush crash. In fact, you can have as many layers as you want to, and you can get just the right look and feel with ZApplink, with, you know, Control J, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of layers if you really needed it. Yeah, I've got a little, I guess I'm making this for YouTube, but I've got a window where I can see roughly my videos and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Oh, awesome. Let's see. Okay, but that's probably the most powerful thing about ZApplink is you can use hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different layers if you needed to, and when you're ready to move back to ZBrush, all you have to do is go right below the shading matte cap layer and select that layer, and then go all the way down, and right at the first layer that you created, you shift select that so you've got everything selected, Control E to merge all of those down together. 2 monitors. I've actually got 3 monitors. So one on my right or left for you. I've got 2 monitors on both of my sides, so I can be aware a lot of things at once and stuff. Anyway, I just merged all of those layers down into one, and then you press Control E to merge down to the ZBrush editing layer, where you can paint directly on your 3D object. And the underlying layer has a layer mask. Do you want to preserve that? Yes. So now that layer that we just created is on our cube. And when we go back to ZBrush, it's going to look just like this, except for this area right here that I'm going to adjust. Let's see, let's make this red. Alt and backspace. Let's backspace a few times. Okay, Control D. Now can everybody see the red dots compared to everything else? I can. I don't know. It's fun. Profession. Well, this is. I'm always striving to make video game content for future use in a team, or just, honing my skills and getting better and better at all this stuff. And I want to work for a major company someday, and I'm just, I love making these videos to hone my skills and make me more capable at all this digital stuff. But everybody can see those red dots, right? Yeah. Okay, File. And before we move back to ZBrush, we've got to make sure that we have our top matte cap layer, which could be anything. And then we've got our editing layer, which is this, for example. This would be so hard to make in ZBrush. Oh my gosh. And then our shading layer, which is our ZBrush background document color. But everything looks good, so File, Save, and then back to ZBrush. Okay, re-enter ZBrush. Awesome. Pick up now. It looks just like we had in Photoshop, right? But now this is a 3D object, and one thing I was going to stress is when you're painting on the whole of your 3D object, sometimes you get stretching when it reaches the we had a flat surface, and then eventually it goes 90 degrees in each of those directions, and you get texture stretching sometimes, which is easy to fix, but just something to be aware of. Pretty cool. But now we see those red little dots, so you can really go crazy with all this texture stuff. And nice. And you can really have fun. Let's see. F to frame. Let's actually zoom out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go back to ZApplink. Photoshop using ZApplink. Okay, update. Okay, now let's see. Okay, yeah, right. Nice. Now this is my active layer, but I want to make some changes, but I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do, and I don't want to ruin this layer. So I want to create a new layer that I can paint on. And I'm going to I'm looking for ideas. Okay, nice. That is a really pretty black line. Let's see what that looks like in ZBrush. So in order to get back to ZBrush, we have to Control E, preserve this mask. I guess an easy shortcut would be Control S to save your document, then Alt Tab back to ZBrush, re-enter, and now we have that pretty black dot Um, how to create normal map for this texture. I thought about that the other day. I think it might have been you that talked about making that for um, uh, ZBrush and stuff like that with the ZApplink. Um, let's see, I don't like this too much. So what I can do is I'm going to ZApplink back to Photoshop. Now we're in Photoshop, but we have to live with the choices we recently made. And one thing you can do is select your clone stamp. Okay, let's select probably down here, or Alt, select an area. Okay, and then let's make this a little bit smaller. And you can paint. I don't want 60%, I want 100%. Nice. Okay, you can paint on your document like this, which I guess works sometimes. But it's a little lighter than the other stuff. I'm not sure if that's going to transfer over. Of course it will, but let's just see. Let's see, Control S to save the document, Alt Tab, back to ZBrush, re-enter. Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought, so that's good. Let's see. A lot of spam. Let's see. Okay, Photoshop. Let's see. Okay, I was going to try and make that roughness map that you were talking about. Normal map. Okay. One nice thing about Photoshop. Let's press A, go back to Photoshop. For a few versions now, Photoshop has had a growing 3D capability. So you can go to Filter. Oh, wait, hold on. I guess it doesn't work with this layer stuff. So let's see. I like this layer, right? I'm going to click on the mask, Control Shift, or I guess Control C to copy that layer. And let's see, I'm going to Control V to paste that in its own layer. Filter, 3D, create a normal map. This is going to be cool. Okay. Yeah. So it creates a normal map. Awesome. So I'm just trying to think of how I would easily get this into ZBrush. Let's see. I'm going to Control C, Alt Fn to create a new document that is going to be exactly the size that we've copied into memory. Control V. Okay, that's nice. Now, this is my normal map. And this is my texture map. So, Control, let's see, I'm going to have this document selected. Control C, Alt Fn. Wait, close, sorry. This is my normal map. So I'm going to rename it normal map. Normal map. Okay, base color. Okay, awesome. Base color, base color. Then Control V. There's our base color. I'm thinking of nice. This till now, I just said Photoshop. Awesome. This is pretty cool. I'm going to open up. Let's see. Let's take a look at ZBrush really quick. Okay, unchanged. Good. This is our active document. Now let's see, normal maps. Okay, I guess we can use normal maps in here. So let's see what this looks like. Oh, to do this easy, I'm going to go to texture and then import. Hold up. Sad. Okay. I guess I haven't saved the Photoshop documents yet, so let's do that now. Let's go back to Photoshop. Okay. Let's create a new folder. Let's see. Yes, okay, new folder. Okay, test monkey. Good. Test monkey. Now, this active document is going to be base color. I don't want it to be Photoshop because I think ZBrush does accept Photoshop documents, but I don't know. I'm going to make it JPEG just because that's a lot easier for most applications. Okay, full capacity, save it as best I can. Okay, now I hid my base color, so now I see my normal map. File, save. Oh, just for the record, if any Adobe Photoshop people are watching this, this 3D, oh wait, sorry, filter 3D stuff, the normal map and other stuff you can make is really handy, but it would be really awesome if you could make a bunch of other maps, diffuse, opacity, ambient occlusion, and all that stuff. Just saying. Okay, where was I? Now let's save this as our normal map. Save as a JPEG. Okay, there's our base color and normal map. Good. Okay. Poor monkey. That's a good name. Sweet. Okay, let's go back to ZBrush. Now I'm going to go to texture and import. And then which folder did I save it as again? It was in pictures and then test monkey. Test monkey. There it is. Okay, now I can import both of these textures at once. Okay, now I've got base color and normal map. So I'm trying to place my normal map here, and there it is. So let's see if this looks any different. I don't know. Let's see. Normal. I'm going to open up Unreal Engine 4 because that is totally awesome. And I was going to actually place the base color. Ooh, 4.20. That's a good thing. Okay, let's launch Unreal Engine 4. And I'm going to place lots of cool stuff. I'm excited. I was going to place this cube inside a new game and see how it looks in an engine that can accept or works better with normal maps and other maps like that. Okay, launching. 14.9. 14.92. I'm glad that 4.20 came out. Nice. Okay, while that is loading, let's go back and let's try and apply this texture to all different sides. So I'm going to switch to the other side. I'm going to turn off perspective, so it's just orthographic, I think. I'm going to create a mask right about there. So that whole texture has been masked. Now I'm going to load the base color. um, actually, I'm in ZBrush right now, so let's focus on ZBrush. So I've selected base color. Now I want to add that to Spotlight. Spotlight is awesome. Okay, now let's shrink this, unwrap that 3D object. I guess you could eventually. I guess I'm gonna have to bring it into Unreal Engine 4, but I think that Unreal Engine 4 has a cube that I could test the base color and normal map on, so I won't need to make another cube. But one nice thing about ZBrush is you can sculpt and paint on any object you want to, and then once you have whatever look you're shooting for, then you can worry about the UV maps and things like that if you wanted to. Okay, I'm using Spotlight right now, so I want to paint this on our object. So I'm going to turn mRGB on and ZAdd off and press Z to drop Spotlight. Let's see, I'm going to increase my Spotlight radius so I can see what I'm painting on my 3D object. Oh, let's see, texture map, no. Yeah, it's just my draw size is really tiny, so let's increase this a little bit and paint that on. Okay, now we're getting a very similar texture on this side. Okay. Awesome. And it was a little bit of stretching, but that's okay. Now I'm going to clear that side, and I'm going to select another side, probably this dude right here. Now it is masked. I'm going to F to frame. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay, there we go. Unreal Engine 4 is done. Now let's create a new project. First person. Let's name this guy Test Monkey. Good. Okay. Awesome. Oh. Yeah. I can unwrap that object at a later time. So if I was really really into this cube that I've made in ZBrush, it's at 6 million polygons. So before I unwrap it, I would have to bring it back down to 86 polygons. That was its base polygon count, lowest polygon count, and then you unwrap it at the lowest polygon count, and then after it's unwrapped, then you would divide as much as you can or back up to where you were at, and then apply the texture, and then it would apply the texture that you've created on your UV mapped cube. I don't know, I'm talking too much. I just lost my train of thought. Let's see. Nice. Okay, almost done. Let's move back to ZBrush until this is, Unreal Engine 4 is totally loaded up. Okay, I'm going to F to frame, move back a little bit. Okay, now this side is masked, so I can't paint on it, but I can control, just click, and that will invert it. So only only this side is unmasked. So I can Shift Z to turn. Oh no, I guess just Z and Z to turn on and off Spotlight. Let's move this and scale it. What's those specs running? ZBrush, Photoshop, Unreal Engine, same time? will blast if I do that. Yeah, I know. My computer does that too sometimes. I like to um, work with all of my fancy applications open at the same time. I'm actually thinking of opening a few more just to say I can and stuff. Oh, that's cool. My latest Fortnite is updating right now, so that's good. So my computer's got a lot of things to think about right now. So let's see. Let's go back to Unreal Engine 4, which is still loading up. Probably a little bit longer because there's a lot of activity going on in my computer right now. Never did that. XD. What are your specs, bro? Okay, let's see. This computer is so ancient. 10 years. Let's see. C. Back. Okay, computer. Nice. Fortnite. Awesome. Good game. Okay, sometimes my computer likes to think. Nah, I don't know. When this starts to work, I will show you my specs, but I'm not sure at the moment. Maybe I should pause Fortnite or keep it running and just let this think. Let's see. Oh man. Let's go back to ZBrush. Still not responding. Okay, let's. Where's ZBrush? Oh, other document. Okay. There we go. Sweet. Let's finish this up. Shift Z to kill Spotlight. Z to turn it back on. My computer's starting to lag a little bit. I think. Stream Fortnite. Oh yeah. Nice. Awesome. The Doom was fun today. Oh, there's Unreal Engine 4. Okay, now we can take these cubes that are already made. Let's see. Okay, I'm in Unreal Engine 4, so okay. I was just trying to think of the different controls I would have to use. Okay, here's our cube. Okay, let it think. Okay, good. Now I need a new material. Nice. Let's create a new folder. Test monkey. Awesome. Okay, then I'll import the textures. Let's see, I know that Pixabay is just one folder away from test monkey. Nice. Awesome. Now I can import both base color and normal map. Awesome. Sweet. Fortnite sounds like fun. Fortnite on the computer, my Nintendo Switch or Xbox One. I don't know. I can't seem to get Fortnite working on my PlayStation 4. I've installed it, but it just won't let me play it for some reason. I'm not sure why. And I'm too lazy to really investigate. But, okay, let's create a new material. Material. Test monkey. Okay, good. Open this up. Now this is going to be cool. Now I can see, even if I don't place these materials on an object, I will be able to see it update on my material in the material window. Okay, let's dock this on the right. Now, drag in, or I just click and drag. Okay, we've got base color and normal map. I chose base color because I was thinking of Unreal Engine 4. So base color goes in base color. And now my sphere should look like that. And then normal map, blah, normal map goes in normal map. Okay, awesome. Still broadcasting. Awesome. Oh, yeah, pretty cool. I think, oh, Fortnite is not as fun on my iPhone, just because the screen's so small and I don't know. I think I like Xbox One the best so far. Okay, I've plugged everything in, so let's see what this looks like. Yeah, so if any Photoshop people are watching, in Photoshop you can create a normal map, right? And roughness, I think, or whatever the other one was. I don't know. Let's see. Alt tab, Photoshop. Okay, yes, filter. Wait, hold on. Okay, filter, 3D. You can create a bump map and a normal map. That's a good idea. Let's make a bump map. Okay. Yeah, before we continue, I'm going to make a bump map for this test monkey. Okay, let's place this on top. No, that's good. Bump map. Awesome. Wait, hold on. Bump map. Okay, yeah. Now, no. I guess I should have just... Okay, Control A, delete. So bump map is empty. I need to make bump map from this guy. I guess I could just delete that. That doesn't matter. Okay, bump map. Okay. Now, bump map. Let's go to filter, 3D, generate bump map. Nice. This will be fun. Okay, that's kind of nice. Let's make it more intense. Whoa. Good, right about there. I like that. Too intense, right there. Okay, I like that. Okay, there's our bump map. Now let's save this with test monkey in the test monkey folder. Bump map. Awesome. Yeah, so if any Photoshop people are watching this right now, being able to generate all those different maps right in Photoshop, there would be less need to go to other programs and things like that to get this stuff done, and it would be so much easier. Just saying. Okay, bump map has been created. Okay, let's close this real quick. Okay, then import bump map. There we go. Awesome. Then let's open up Test Monkey and place bump map where it needs to go. Awesome. This is going to be fun. Still broadcasting. Sometimes it cuts out and stuff. No, let's see. Okay, I'm back in Unreal Engine. Okay, good. Bump map goes probably roughness. Awesome. Okay, apply. Let it think. Nice. Save. Ooh, now would be a good time to play Doom on my Xbox One on my PC while all this stuff is going on. Right, not Doom. That's PlayStation. Probably Fortnite on my computer through my Xbox One. Okay, now let's test monkey on test monkey. Good. Oh, cool, it placed it everywhere. That's awesome. that saves me a little bit of work. Okay, now let's play the game and see what this is like. Awesome. Pretty cool. There is Test Monkey. Yeah, I guess you can see some. There are those red dots. Cool. Nice. Okay, let's see. Cool, that was fun. Okay. Awesome. Now, basically, this whole video has been a nice look. Let's see. Fortnite is still updating. Oh, I guess I'll just finish this object in ZBrush. Oh yeah, I have just this selected. So now Z to go back to Spotlight, and then Z to paint on it without symmetry. Press X to apply or take off symmetry, and then let's just paint. Awesome. And just this side is selected, so I don't need to worry about it affecting any of the other sides. Good. Okay. Now I'm going to move over here, click and drag, control click and drag. Now, sweet. Thank you everybody for watching this video. It's a lot of fun to always make these and stuff. Okay, let's paint this on this side. Uh-oh. It is not lining up correctly, so what that means is if I press Z, now we can go back into edit mode, and I can just move the texture wherever I want to, over here, and press Z to paint that section, or move it over the entire canvas like I have done for the other sides, pressing Z to paint this across the entire thing. Awesome. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, I had set up some music for you guys to listen to while I was doing this, but it's so much more fun to talk while I'm doing this. So, I'm back. I'm Wi-Fi disconnect. Oh, that's too bad. I hate it when the internet disconnects. Let's select that. Okay, I need to paint this side. So, what I was probably going to do is I'm going to paint this whole thing, right? Which doesn't really mean much because I have that cube in Unreal Engine 4 right now. So let's see, Z. Let's move this so it's about the right size. Z. Wait. Oh, I'm stretching the image. Yeah. Now I've got to texture, import, re-import that base color, just so it isn't all stretched and stuff. Okay, Z, let's get it about the right size. Okay, Z, let's move this over there and make it just barely big enough for, nope. Okay, that's good. Now press Z so I can paint on it. And just like before, let's color this side. Nice. Okay, that's good. Now Shift Z to turn Spotlight off. Okay, Control click and drag. Awesome. That's good. It's not perfect, right? Because that's a big issue. But now I was going, just so you guys can experience the what's the feature? Oh, Spotlight. Spotlight is a nice, awesome feature of ZBrush. You can load any texture, and you can add it to Spotlight, just like that, and you can drag it wherever you want to, and you can paint on it with different RGB intensities. Okay, awesome. Just like that. Isn't that cool? Okay, now something's come up, but I will be back later today. to work on more of this stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody.